Plaintiff Christine Hill says the defendant is her brother, and he just turned 18 years old. But prior to turning 18, he'd been in trouble with the law for drugs and drinking. Christine is suing because she claims the defendant crashed her car while driving drunk and then fled the scene. Defendant Kyle Hill admits that he often got into trouble in school for fighting, but insists his problem stemmed from the fact that he was always trying to be popular. Kyle says this eventually led to criminal behavior, and he refuses to pay for the car damages because the vehicle was uninsured.
Tell me what's going on.
Okay, Kyle is my little brother. He just turned 18 about a week ago, and prior to turning 18, he's had some problems. He's gotten in trouble with the law, with drugs and drinking. The major problem was when he crashed my car while under the influence of alcohol. And, you know, since he just turned 18, now it's not about juvenile things. My dad can't bail him out. He's gonna go to big jail. And he has a baby on the way, and he doesn't have a high school diploma or GED. And he just needs to straighten his life out.
What was he like as a child?
He was very troubled. He got into a lot of trouble from as far back as I can remember.
And Dad was in the house?
Part of the time.
State your name.
My father.
Kevin Hill, his father.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I guess you could say Kyle really had some issues, but I think his issues come from that he thought maybe he should be getting more. I was basically working, and his mother was a stay-at-home mom, and maybe he thought he needed some things that we couldn't provide, or maybe we wasn't as wealthy as the rest of them. I think it created a lot of anger with him.
Did you all take him to counseling?
School counseling, we did. We tried the Ritalin.
Okay.
We tried the medication.
Okay.
Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. So it was like we discontinued it.
So the psychiatrist, because a counselor can't diagnose a need for Ritalin, the psychiatrist determined that he had attention deficit of some type.
Right.
Diagnosed with attention deficit. That is a frequent cause of destructive behavior. And what happens in many instances is a child tries to drink the anger away, tries to self-medicate. That's a specific feeling that people have. They feel, in many instances, anxious. They can't keep still. Their mind goes a lot of different places at the same time. That's a specific disorder. It's not something the child can just say, I'm gonna shake it off. What were you gonna say?
I was just going to say, I think that's where a lot of his problems come from, because he was angry, he felt like the oddball.
By the way, in addition to the medication, you're supposed to continue counseling.
Yes.
So you just can't medicate them without counseling, because sometimes if they're counseled enough, they can leave the medication because the counselor would have taught them some coping mechanisms. As a kid, I had attention deficit, and I'm told that I may still, but I overcame mine primarily without counseling. I didn't even have counseling, but that's why I got in trouble so much. I didn't have counseling or medication, because in the 70s, they weren't diagnosing that.
I kind of feel his remedy there, because I mean, I wasn't a perfect child growing up, but I mean, so I kind of see the background of it, but I didn't resort to the alcohol because I was very vicious. So.
You got that look in your eye now. Go ahead. Go ahead, sir. Why don't you give me some background on yourself?
I do admit to, having problems a lot when I was in school and everything.
Starting at what age did you begin fighting and having all this problems?
It wasn't so much violent behavior. It was just I was trying to be more popular in school and trying to be friends with everybody and talk a lot. So it escalated.
Were you diagnosed with something? Did they take you to counseling? And
ADHD. I used to have to see the counselor in school.
Okay, you must have told them something to make them believe that's the disorder you suffer from.
Most times I kind of blamed it on my household, and I just tried to be a different person than I was at home at school. So I got myself in a little bit too much trouble and
like what?
Into the wrong crowd.
Like what?
Well, fighting, I guess.
I thought you told me it wasn't fighting.
I was trying to fight, that's all.
And that's what I thought. That's what happens when you have that disorder. You just said it wasn't violence. So I need you to tell me what else you were getting in trouble doing.
Yeah, after about the age of 13, my dad and my mom got divorced, and I got split up. I was living with my aunt for a while. And I didn't, I was my own person, so I pretty much did what I wanted to do when I wanted to do it. and I was on the east side of Toledo, so I got mixed in definitely the wrong crowd.
Reckless behavior.
Yeah.
Take chances because you don't think you're gonna get caught. And that led to what? Use of drugs, criminal behavior.
Drugs, and then I used to steal for people. Like, you know, they'd want something and I'd feel as if, you know, I could do it because I got away before, so I'd have them tell me what they needed and I'd go get it for them. I was at Kmart and ended up getting caught, so. Then I become pretty much, I stopped trying to listen to my household and just tried to become more active with everybody else.
With criminals.
Yeah.
Right, you delve further in the life of crime. But what I'm saying is that weekly counseling can help address that, because he comes into the counselor and say, counselor says, what happened with you this week? And he says, well, I got into a fight. Well, how did the fight occur? Well, a guy disrespected me. Okay, where does your sense of disrespect come from? Well, when people look at me wrong, well, this is the way to handle that when people look at you wrong and you feel like you're being disrespected. That way you won't trigger the anger that is inside of you. You follow me? That's the type of thing counselors teach you. You're going to get some counseling because you're still engaged in criminal behavior, aren't you?
Yeah.
What are you doing with your life right now?
Right now, I'm actually, I'm working. My girlfriend's pregnant, and you know, my son's gonna be born next month. And
What type of work do you do?
I like roofing, construction, and stuff.
Good job,
So
good job.
I'm not in the right position to take it to the level that I need to take it.
Why?
Just because I don't, you know, I'm on my own, you know.
What do you mean?
I gotta take care of myself and all, you know, make sure.
Right. And that's how you do it.
It makes it stressful to make me want to go do other things, like drink, you know.
Oh, so working stresses you out?
Just life.
Pardon me?
Just life, yeah, working, having to find out where I'm gonna live, what I'm gonna eat.
It
stresses me out.
It causes anger that disables you?
Yeah, I get mad a lot.
All right, because of the frustration that you're not where you want, even though you work in a high-paying field, construction.
Yeah.
You still get mad.
Yeah.
You see how much counseling you need? Here, you have a job in a good field. You're making excuses, Doc. Many, when they become adults, they don't get frustrated, they just start managing it all.
Yeah.
So your mind has to be here, there, everywhere, and moving you forward instead of criminal activity like it was. All right? Tell me why you're suing him.
On April 14th of 2013, Kyle stole my car that sat outside my grandpa's. And he was intoxicated at the time that he stole it, and he crashed it into another car. And I have the police report.
I see it.
And the photos as well.
How much damage?
He doesn't really remember much when he was arrested. He didn't stop after he hit a stopped vehicle. He continued to go on.
Drunk driving, hit and run.
He ran through people's yards to get away from the cops. When he was caught, he was banging his head against the cement and against the cop car.
Banging his own head against the cement?
And he had, they did take him to the emergency room where he was admitted. He got stitches in his eye. He also fractured part of his hand. He was so intoxicated he did not wake up until around 1 p.m. when we picked him up. My father and I picked him up from the hospital. When we picked him up from the hospital, we had told him everything that had happened. And he told us that he would pay for all the damages and everything to fix everything. And we kind of left it at that because, you know, he was sick at the time. He was still half asleep leaving the hospital.
And the estimate came out to 4136?
Yeah, in June of 2013, I didn't realize how much damage he had done. I got this letter from the motor vehicles talking that my license was suspended.
Let's see it, please.
And
Why was your license suspended?
The car was in my name. In the car, I did not carry insurance on that car because I did not use that car. Then I started getting phone calls from a lawyer because the $4,100 had already went to collections. And they told me that there was nothing they could do about it. I couldn't get my license until I paid that back. Okay. When I talked to Kyle about it, he kind of acted like it was way too much for him and that it wasn't his responsibility to pay for it anymore.
All right, sir.
Well, I actually did not agree to pay the whole.
No, let's talk about your drunk driving, running, all that.
I I guess, I don't really know about that. I
Do you drive frequently when you're drunk?
No.
This was your first time ever?
No.
How
I've done
often
it
do you
before.
drive drunk? Say in a month.
Oh, just once.
Once a month you drive drunk? What's funny about this? People get killed when you drive drunk. You see how smashed up this car is, and you come in here grinning?
If you actually look at the blue car, Your Honor, you could see how he moved that car onto the sidewalk. It was a parked vehicle that he hit the car so hard.
And it moved.
Right, and it was in a residential
And
area.
you come in here grinning? Yeah, so let's go back over that. You get drunk and drive once a month?
No, I don't.
How often? You the
When I
one
get
told me
mad,
once a
when
month.
I get mad, I get drunk, and then I don't know what I'm doing.
Okay, here we go with the excuse again. Sir, you better go and get you some counseling because you got two choices you're headed for, prison or death. 'Cause everybody ain't taking that. One of these anger fits that you have, you're gonna get killed. What's your defense to not paying for these damages?
Because I never agreed to pay the whole
All right,
the
why
whole
don't you
amount.
think you're responsible?
Because she should have had it insured in the first place.
Okay, that's not a legal defense. Her not having insurance is not a legal defense. She did nothing to cause the accident. The person who caused the accident is the one who should pay for it, not her insurance company.
If
So
she would've
let's
been-
get to the reinstatement fee. Why shouldn't you pay for that?
Because she was the one that left the car there.
All right, good enough. But you caused her loss.
Could I say that it also wouldn't have occurred if she wouldn't have left her car there uninsured?
No, you shouldn't have taken her car drunk. You committed a crime when you did that. So all this blaming here, you blaming her now. All this self-pity. I don't know why I get drunk. I get angry. I get angry too. Still get angry. Some of these folks say, what the judge? She's angry today. But I still got my law license. Still was able to go to school. You want some counseling? You want us to help you find some counseling for free, sir?
I would appreciate that.
All right, that's what we're going to do. They're going to give you ways of coping with your anger. You can go to counseling and avoid prison if you want. Judgment for the plaintiff.
I'm going to take counseling and try to fix myself now and see where it goes from there. I'm sorry.
We love you.
We just want to see him do better. I mean, he's got a baby on the way. I guess it's not about really the money, but I guess, he needs to learn his responsibilities and pay for what he did. And I'm just glad he's going to realize that.